We have two messages in the gospel today. The first one is be ready. That's a message that we're going to hear over and over again as we approach the end of the church year. Remember, Advent begins a new church year. So until then, we're going to hear that the world will come to an end. We don't know how much time we have. Use every day as precious. Before I went to Europe, I did a lot of parish missions. So I was traveling all around the country, even around the world. And every Sunday I would try to call Dad and Mom and just see what's going on. And Mom started something we couldn't figure out why, but she started a practice. Before she hung up, she said, "I love you." And we kids would respond, "I love you." Well, when my parents died in a car accident, we had the consolation of knowing the last words I spoke to Dad and Mom were, "I love you." We don't know how much time we have. You might have a sister, a cousin, somebody in your immediate family with whom you have been feuding. Today is the day to make peace. We don't know if we have tomorrow. And the saddest thing we ever hear is to be at a funeral home and hear someone say, "I wish I would have made up earlier, but now it's too late." Now, in no way am I promising you that the person you try to make up with will respond appropriately. If that person is a jerk, the person will continue to be a jerk. But you can still love that person from a distance. You can still forgive that person for being so broken. And I find that the key, to see the brokenness and not the meanness. Because if I think of that person as mean or nasty or whatever, then I can write that person off. But if I see that person as broken and whatever that person's doing is just a symptom of that brokenness, then I start feeling sorry for that person. Now, the second message, if you're ready when the Lord returns, He's going to serve you a meal, which is very odd, because in a gospel a couple of weeks ago, Jesus said, when you finish plowing the fields, don't expect to get served a meal. The joy was in doing the work. Which is it? By now, any of you who have heard me preach, you know the answer. The answer is yes. Because there are two sides to the coin of service and love. Part of it is to accept the service God offers us. The fathers of the church speak about how the Trinity were so in love that they wanted to create others whom they could love. And that's why God created us, to serve us. Now, in the Baltimore Catechism, I learned God created us to know, love, and serve Him in this world and to be happy with Him in the next. You can almost hear Sister's clicker, can't you? And yet the fathers of the church say the opposite. God created us so that God could serve us. And have you ever said to yourself, if I knew then what I know now, I don't know if I would have done it? God knew then what He was getting in for, and He still created us. Talk about vulnerability and love and service. But the other part of it is we are called to serve God. We serve God by serving God's children. We serve God in our prayer, especially in our praise. And what does God feel when we serve Him? It's kind of like that daughter who at 16 couldn't keep her closet clean. And he almost despaired about her. And now she has twin babies, and she's taking such loving care of them. God is so proud of us that we finally grew up and stopped thinking just about ourselves, that we thought about serving others, that we thought about praising God. Because when we do that, it's a sign that our faith has matured and we become more and more like God, who only wants to serve all day long.